Is it the physical resurrection of Christ that counts, or is it his spiritual resurrection? If I ask this question, it is always in relation to the controversy of those who say that the resurrected Christ is no matter. The words are spirit, they are life, and what matters is that it is resurrected in his mind. It means that in fact, through his passion and his death he taught Christians something. I would say that this reduction of Christ's resurrection to a symbolic meaning takes many forms. For some, he is not resurrected because his spiritual soul is enough on the other side, and so his body could stay in the tomb. He was doing it was something that was forbidden in the simple era, especially by the Platonists, who thought that the body was the tomb of the soul and that only spirit was he himself, separated from the body in the other world. But other symbolic interpretations appear in contemporary times that say what matters is the meaning of the resurrection. It means that even if we die and go back to nothingness, life has meaning, if only because we fully assume it. So Jesus would have resuscitated a meaning to this life that anyway ends in nothingness. Well, these interpretations are perfectly anti-Christian. And yet there is something that is true in there, namely that the Christ who is truly risen, and ourselves who will truly be resurrected, who will find our body, who is part of our being, is truly the Annunciation of the Catholic faith. Our body is not a tomb for the soul. It is in the state currently pitiful, but it will be transfigured in a new state adapted to the spirit. Evidently this resurrection of the body also means something much more important, which is called the resurrection of the soul, and which does not mean that our soul will return to nothingness and that it will resurrect. That is what the witnesses say of Jehovah. Which means that if we are faithful to Christ, if we learn to love our neighbor and God, and to be modest, humble, repentant, then we will resurrect from this life to a life with God, the life of grace. It will be in our heart, but beware, it's a real presence. It's not a plaining presence. Really from our heart, or as a friend to whom we can talk. And in the same way, if we love God in this way at the hour of death, when we see the risen Christ appear to us, and indeed our soul will ignite with love for him, all the suffering we have experienced on earth will be forgotten and will make sense, because it will bring us back to life. The old people in geriatric hospitals dying alone, all sad, or life escapes from her, all of a sudden will end up there in the passage of death alive in front of him, accompanied by their living parents, those who have preceded him to death alive, and he will resurrect them, giving them good taste for life. This spiritual resurrection is real. On the other hand, after their purification, well, they will enter the beatific vision. That means that they will see face to face the divinity of Christ, and obviously there is the resurrection of the resurrections. It is the eternal blessedness. And that is what symbolically means the physical resurrection of Christ. So it is more important than this spiritual resurrection, not obviously. But if it does not take place, this physical resurrection, then all is vain. The spiritual becomes symbolic, and then we return to nothingness, whereas if it really takes place as it happened, it proves that what I said on the real presence of Christ in our heart, his appearance at the hour of death, the entry into the beatific vision will be real, palpable not in the material sense, palpable in the sense of the spiritual reality of his real presence.